How would you refine the Bonfire Adventures logo? Because this is how we do it. There's a certain mismatch between the top font and the bottom font. The bottom font is a sans serif. It's pretty geometric. You can see with the something that looks like a circle at the E, like the E can be built from a circle, in contrast to the one that has been used here that is not as geometric. So there's a mismatch there. Also, the O in the Bonfire Adventures text is extending quite a great distance below the baseline of the word bonfire, and this also brings it very close to the word adventures. Also, because of how the O has been built, there's a distance between the B and N which is too big in contrast to the distance between the N and F, so it creates a weird gap over there that it feels like Bonfire Adventures. When you look at the font itself, there's also a weird thing happening in the title case of Adventures, where there is a capital A and then the Adventures is in small letters. Because you have the letters that are short, like the V over here, and letters that are tall, like the T and A over here. And when it came to the new brand, one thing that we wanted to keep very, very consistent was still having an O that pays homage to the story of the brand, the fireplace. Let's not remove that. We had a compass point because people who are traveling need compasses. Whether you're going via flight or on their trips to Dubai, you will need the pilot will need a compass. If you're driving around Kenya on a safari, you will still need to know your direction. So we have a compass at the bottom. We have the fireplace that has been made simpler and cleaner. And then we have green, which is the brand color. We didn't want to change that at all. And bringing it together with the text, you have this now. We have Bonfire Adventures. You can see the space between the B and N, in contrast to the N and F, is not so large, so it is now more optically balanced. We also have the O slightly raised so that the distance between the base of the compass and the top of the bottom letters is almost equidistant, so that we have nice optical balance over there. And you do want to bring the word adventures too close to the word bonfire, because then it's going to be very, very tight. There's also a joining between the F and I. This ligature, this build of the F and I shows how when people are traveling, it's also for connection. There's a joke that they tell of the bonfire babies, that people go to the bonfire trips and they come out with babies. So just the connection that bonfire is very well known for at this point. We also added a lockup that is pretty much like a stamp, which is the emblem mark that you can see in the middle. So in places that are more square, they can use the emblem. More square and have a lot of space, they can use the emblem. Places that are more horizontal, they can use the full logo lockup, which is the one at the top, which is the one that should be pretty much used almost everywhere. And in very small spaces, then you have the brand icon at the bottom. You know, a logo is not enough. You need all these lockups so that the brand can behave in whichever space it's going to be on. And that's pretty much it for the brand. Enjoy.